and they sent me back one that was almost snarky, and I sent them back another one. Anyway, we are in the overbought here on the NQ, and a down close will pull it out of the overbought and give us a trade setup. Okay, I'd rather see it pull back and close up on this bar like that. I'd rather see that, and then give us a down close on this next one. Okay, I want to see a down close on this bar. Another up close wouldn't hurt either. And get us a little closer to this, but it's the pull. I mean, this move down, this leg down right here with this gap, it's trying to fill that gap. That's kind of what I want to see. I want to see the gap fill before we get a trade. Right, over here on the ES, we have the same thing, but we did just fill the gap on the ES. So the ES is pulled all the way back up here to 35, so we'd be selling 33 on the ES right now. This is what it looks like. Okay, and on the NQ, excuse me. Is it still 33 on the ES? Yeah, it's still 33 on the ES. Okay, and on the NQ, there it is right there on the NQ. Here, stop to break even on the NQ. Now we need 4 ticks in profit on the ES. I'm going to lock in just 4 ticks on this NQ. And hopefully we'll get all 48. Now I'm going to lock in more than 4. That's 16 right there. We're still just looking for 4 ticks in profit over here on the ES. We got 16 on the NQ. And we're still just looking for 4 ticks over here. It looks like it's probably going to stop us out though. I think I did actually get the 4 ticks. Maybe on 32.25. I don't know if I did. But I just stopped out there. And what did I get on that NQ? Was it 16? I think it was. Alright, so we got some blue on that and some red over here on the ES. Oops. Yeah, I guess I was right. Okay. So over here on the YM, the ribbon is spread. We need to give us a down close. I don't think it's going to. It could though. It could still be a trade here on the YM. It's got a high of 507. So you'd be selling 20 ticks below 507. That'd be 87. Here it is. This is what it looks like. I guess it's 506. I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to close up anyway. So, I should put it at 6 there. So in yesterday's lesson plan, guys, let me see if I have that up. Here it is. The weekly trading zone, this stuff and that stuff. Yeah, I guess we went over it yesterday. We covered it well enough yesterday. Alright, so that was an up close. I'm going to cancel this order here on the YM. It's 1029. 1029. Alright, that NQ trade was all 4 lines showing. When it gave the down close right here, if you look at it like this, Dave, when it gave the down close, that's what it looked like. Okay, in hindsight, you can see that everything turned blue, but when it actually happened, it was like this. Okay, Balraj, you don't have access to the indicators in TradingView anymore. In TradingView? Let me check that for you. What's your what's your ID in TradingView? I will check that for you right away. Okay. Alright, so to check it for you, I'm gonna have to do something really quick. Alright, I have to do a couple things really quick. I'm looking for you right now. Okay, while I was doing that, I missed this long trade here. Do this, add new users. Let me put your ID in there. Okay, Balraj. Okay, and Bart, you never gave me that information we talked about last night. A link for my layout. Now I'm going to post a link for my layout. You don't have the context PP in it, so yours isn't going to have the ribbon. You got to put the context on, your context on, but I'll save this and I'll throw one on there for you so you can see how to do it. Okay. Okay, so what you're going to have to do, and this is what Mark has to do too, if you put the context on like this, then you're going to have to go inside the context and just shut everything off like this. That, and 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 that. Okay. So now if I save this, and now I can send you this right here. Copy. And I'll give it to you right here. Paste. There it is in that one, and I'll stick it in the other one for you too. Okay. Alright. So, Mark, that link that I just stuck out there, it'll have the context on there set up properly for the NQ. I guess I can stick it on all of them. The way that you're going to have to do it. Okay, and then we'll just go in and shut everything off inside it. Oops, we need those two things. But everything else you don't need. In the context PP, I shut this stuff all off automatically last night. I'll have to do it for the context too, but I just didn't get around to it last night. Michael R., did you ever get your stuff working last night? I know we went back and forth quite a bit. And I think you gave up. I was still here. I didn't give up. Okay. So now hit save on that. And so Balraj, good. Balraj, you should be able to, if I save this again, you reload the link that I just sent you. It's going to be a read-only thing, but if you click in the upper right-hand corner, there's a copy button. Click on that copy button, and and by clicking on that, you should be able to get your indicators indicating just like this. You know, you're not going to have the tables because you don't have the context PP, so you won't have the table. This down here, I gave you a trial for that. All right. If anybody's in here who's on the open house, or anybody who's in here who is a mentoring partner and not a passport partner, you can upgrade, become passport, and you'll have access to this all the time. But yeah, all that. Draw lines on chart. There is a thing, but that's not part of the upgrade. That was always there, Cliff. The thing that I did is I took out you having to shut off everything, so it's just going to show the ribbon, and I made it so it shows the table based upon the MA1 BB3 cross by default, rather than the blue arrow by default. Okay, so I missed that trade. That was not a trade. I missed that trade and that trade right there. But you guys got to see how easy this is, right? I mean, it's never been this easy. This is something that we've been wanting to do for years and years and years, and now we have it. So we need to get into the oversold over here on the Russell. We have a higher swing. We need the down close to get into the oversold, and then come out of the oversold. There it is. So now we need to come out of the oversold, but the ribbon just changed color. Over here on the NQ, we're in the oversold. We just need to come out of the oversold. And so everybody who's in here right now, you should have gotten an email yesterday telling you all what it takes to get all this stuff running on your desktop. And the ES, if it gives it to us here, the ES is going to be a trade. The NQ is a trade. Here, the NQ is a trade. Stops at break even on that. Now the ES is going to be a trade too. I'm going to throw +8 right there on the NQ. Alright, cancel on that. The ES needs the up close. The up close is going to be right up above the weekly trading zone, so it's still a valid trade because it's above the zone. It's going to be 37.50 up to 39.50 on the ES. Here, this is what it looks like. Okay. I'm going to get on that NQ 8. The NQ needs to put in a higher swing before we trade in that direction again. So the S is going to trade. The Russell does not. Well, it does show all four ribbon. I mean, all four. Excuse me, all four lines there in the ribbon. Now the ES just triggered us in, so I got to make sure my stop is in the right place, and it is not. There it is. The Russell did show all four lines on the up close. The ES 4 ticks in profit. The stop goes to break even. Should get to right there. That was from yesterday's lesson plan. Okay, that should get up to that level, at least. And the Russell was a trade right here. I missed it. I did have an order on there, but I didn't get filled. So the ES, we need to get up to 0.75 right there. It should get up there. That should be okay this time. This did not put in a higher swing from the last signal. There it is. That is up there. So now the numbers are starting to pile up here. You see them? Up there. That's where price should go now. Now we are sitting at -6 on the ES right now, so I guess we'll just lock in 6. So we'll be back at break even. That was actually 106. That was 7. I'm going to hit this before I end up filling. After that last stop out on the ES, we were at -6, but now we're at +1. Alright. So you see how easy that is, right? This did put in the higher swing. This is just about to put in the higher swing. This doesn't have anything. So if you were in here yesterday, and you've been in here all week, this is how we're doing it going forward. Super simple process. If you're in mentoring, you know, if you're an active partner at the mentoring level, you need to upgrade if you want to have full-time access to this down here. Otherwise, you can just watch it in the room. You can come in the room every day and watch it for 2 hours a day and trade off of that 2 hours a day. I mean, you would be able to trade all these things that I keep missing here, like that one that I missed. You would have been able to get that. This one that I actually got, that should be a blue arrow. You'd be able to do that. This one over here that I missed, you'd be able to do that because you'd be able to watch it without, you know. We do, not next week, John. The new contract, the way it works out, the new contract will become available the second Thursday. So the new contract is going to become available probably, this is the way it usually works, it'll probably become available here on the 12th, but because we're ending the month on a Friday, the business month on a Friday, it might become available sooner, but usually it won't become available until the 12th, and then we'd probably roll on the 12th or 13th. But because we're ending on a Friday, it might become available in here, and so we may be rolling in this period, but it won't be next week, it'll be the week after. Okay. We do roll next week, I think, silver. but not the indexes. I'm not exactly sure about the silver either. But I thought I read they were rolling something next week, but it's not going to be the indexes. They have a close right there on the NQ. That is a long trade. Now it is so close to the swing high, but there it is. We need 4 points, and there it is. Stop to break even. And a nice 48 tick trade right here would really do me wonders. Probably not going to break even on it, but it's looking to get up to the weekly trading zone up above here. That's what it's trying to do. So it should be more than 48 ticks, actually. It should be a lot more than 48. But it just gave me a break even. Now I could have just taken 16 ticks right there pretty easy. Just about the goal for the day on that trade that I ended up taking a break even on. The Russell did put in a higher swing. This is pulling back now. It's got to put in a higher swing. From this right here, it's got to put in a higher swing. Alright, so the ES did. Look at that. ES had a great run right there. That was a great run. You just reminded me of something. What is NVIDIA doing today? Does anybody know? Here it is right here. Okay, it's not doing much. Alright. So it looks like everything's rolling down right here. And that's okay. To 110, you think? All the way down there, Jack? I met one of my... I was at the gas station yesterday, and one of my neighbors, who trades? He trades just stocks, though. I met him at the gas station. Well, he was getting gas anyway. We were talking about NVIDIA and the puts that he bought on Thursday. Lee, he's the crazy one. Looks like the guy from Back to the Future, the professor. Alright, so we're looking for the down close on the NQ right now. Alright, looking for that down close over there on the NQ. We're just about in the overbought here on the ES, so we're pretty much looking for the same thing there on the ES. The ribbon's not really spread over here on the YM, but if it closes down, it probably will be spread on the YM. Alright, we're still looking for that. Now we're not looking for it on the NQ anymore. Now it looks like this was just a pullback and a bigger move up on everything, but we don't have a trade here because it changed here, or the YM's the only thing that might have a trade right now. From 88 down to 68 on the YM. Okay, here it is. 88 down to 68 on the YM. The NQ actually, well, I don't know, it's kind of looking like it's got a trade right there. Alright, I took it here. I'm going to show it to you, bringing it over. We went back to all red over there, so I'm going to lock in just 4 ticks on that. And we'll see where it goes. Okay, the YM trade is not happening. Now 59.75, 0.75 is where it's at, right? So if I go all the way down here to 54, no, it didn't let me. Crap. I was trying to drop it right there at 54.75 and it came back up and took me out with 4 ticks instead of like 20. Okay. Now on the down close right there is when it was all red. That's what I was looking at. Oops. The YM isn't happening. I'm going to cancel the YM. It's that bar right there, and I ended up with just 4 ticks on it. Now that needs to put in a lower swing because I took the trade. Okay, the YM could still happen. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking. I didn't see the actual chart. 94 down to 74 on the YM. So the YM could still happen here. Have I answered everybody's questions so far? Everybody? Everyone? And Cliff, the upgrade for the context PP, you know, the lines on the chart, I upgraded that too for the target stuff here. It's going to be based upon the last cross right here. I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, if I put that on right now, if I put the target lines on there, oops, do it over here. Show target line on chart there. Okay, so now it's calculating it, and there are the target lines right there. And the target lines are based upon this last cross right here. Okay, that's what they're based upon. So from that last cross, the first target was hit right here, and that target, the trade would have entered right here. The first target was right there, the second target there, third target there. Now it's crossing again, so what you'll see right now, after it crosses again, it's going to cross and stay crossed for 5 bars. That's what I was saying last night when I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this. So, you know, you didn't get it going back and forth in here when it's really flat. It's going to cross and stay crossed for 5 bars. And if it does that, then it'll switch to the other side. The targets will switch to the other side. John, because the question was I don't really watch crude and gold anymore. The DOMs kept being screwed up with crude and gold for me. You know, when I got to a lot of contracts and the DOMs are just messed up, like they weren't keeping up, that's why I stopped doing those for the most part. You know, the DOMs with the indexes seem to always be pretty close. But I mean, when I say screwing up, you know, like the chart would say this number, and you know, the DOM would be up here somewhere or down here somewhere. But it wasn't that way for the indices. Okay, so you see we have the cross right here. So now this, after 5 bars after the cross, should change to bullish targets. Okay. If I were to watch them, would I change the range bars too nowadays? Well, you see, changing the range bars with the indexes isn't the same as changing it with the gold in the crude, because the gold in the crude, they just don't have the same amount of volatility as the indexes do. You know, I kept the ES where it was because it doesn't go up and down the same amount, so I might keep those at the same level. Good, Barish. I might keep those at the same level. Okay. Now, Barish, you know, this right here I have you on a trial on right now. This part down here. Okay, but you know, I didn't change the ES because the ES just doesn't change in volatility the way these do. With these guys here, you know, they're volatile enough so that you can go to a higher time frame. And the problem with them before was that they were so volatile with a small time frame. It was, you know, I was constantly having trades and having to analyze the trades that were coming up. I mean, now, you know, this is kind of normal right now where it's slowed down like this, where, you know, we don't have a trade here, we don't have a trade here, we're almost having a trade here, and we have a trade setting up right here. So it's easy to look at this now and get ready and place the trade. Like right now, we need to be 8 ticks above the low of this bar, 8 points above the low of that bar. So it's going to be 77.25. 77.25. That's easy enough to see and do and put on. Where before, it was really complicated for me to try to do all this. And try to tell you how to do all this. It was even worse. So right now, it's gone down so deep, it's going to change. The low of this is... You can't really see it. You can see it even less. Well, anyway, it's going to change, I think, but the low is here at 61.75, so it'll be 69.75. 69.75, and there it's just changed, so I'm going to cancel it. But don't you agree this is easier and easier to take the trades and easier to put the trades on and do all the stuff that you want to do? And Bart, you gotta give me that TradingView ID. You can get the free version, Bart. It'll be delayed data and all that, but you can get the free version if you want to, just to play with it over the weekend. You only need 2 indicators. You need to have the context and the trigger. It doesn't include the context PP. It doesn't include the logic 247. It doesn't include the concierge trade alerts. So it includes the context, which includes the ribbon, and the regular slingshot, the ultimate slingshot. It doesn't include this though. Okay, ball rush. Yeah, well, that was the thing, Jack. The risk, the amount of the risk, if you trade micros, because micros again are a more mature market now. If you trade, instead of trading 1 NQ, if you trade 5 micros, then the stop goes from being $140 a contract or $180 a contract down to $90 a contract. Not a contract, but $90 total. Goes from $140 to $90. Right? Because you can trade the micros. You can trade half as many micros, cut the actual dollar value of your stop in half, and do the same thing with the same indicators. You know, if you put these side by side like I did last night, if you put the MNQ right next to this, you'll have just about the same setups going with the indicators. So if you trade off the MNQ, excuse me, the MNQ chart, if I make this the MNQ, and we'll go to the U contract, I'll make it 31. You see, you have basically the same stuff. You'll be making the same trades based upon the same indications here on your chart. And you could do it with 5 MNQ, and instead of your stop being, you know, whatever 5 times 36 is, I think that's 140, right? Didn't go through that last night. 5 times 36, 180, I think. 180. Instead of having a $180 stop, if you did it with 5 NQ over here, you'd have a $90 stop. Okay, like right now, we have the same trade setup triggering right now between the MNQ and the NQ. Just about. Both of them need a down close to pull it out of the overbought. Right, the ribbon spread on both, you need a down close on both to pull it out of the overbought. So, by going to the larger time frame, which is what I really wanted to do to slow things down for everybody, I really wanted to go to the larger time frame. Including any trial things, Balraj, right now, yours will look just like this. You know, your context, you have the context, so it'll look like this. Okay, with what you got going on right now. See, the MNQ actually triggered the trade right here, and the NQ didn't yet. Right now the NQ did, and I had it waiting, and here it is, and my stop's going to break even. Gonna lock in a whole bunch on this. I'm hopefully gonna get, I did. I got all 48 ticks on that. Okay. But the MNQ actually triggered it first right there. Did you notice that? But Balraj, this is what yours will look like. This is with TIQ context. That's what you have access to. And I gave you a trial to this. So if you want to have this all the time overnight outside of the room, then you got to upgrade the passport. Okay. And with the passport, you get the target table and all that stuff too. This needs to go back to a 7 range. Okay. That last trade right there put us over 200 ticks on the NQ. What time is it? 10:57. We have still plenty of time left. We could have our best day ever on the NQ right now. If 48 is really the best number, well, 48 is just 12 points, Jack. I did a 9 by 12 bracket on the NQ. So, you know, when it's really volatile like today, you could probably do bigger than that. You know, your stop doesn't really have to be any more. The 9 stop is good for this bar size. The 9 stop is good. But the target, you can probably make the target bigger on really volatile days like today. You could make that target 100 if you wanted to. But, you know, 30 was a really good number for the 15 range bar. 30 was a really good number for that bar. But 2 bar lengths, you know, like a 60, would work out well with this too, I think. You know, I did you could do a 9 by 15 bracket instead of a 9 by 12. That is certainly something you can do. And I think, you know, I would have just gotten, obviously, on most of these trades that I got the 48 ticks on, I would have gotten the 60 on. You know, I think it's fair to say that. The question was, can I model if 48 is really the best number? You know, it's just from what I've seen. 48 is a good number. Okay, 48 is a good number that is going to get you good money. And again, you know, we're not looking to trade 1,000 times a day. Okay, here it's going to get. Well, we're not looking to trade 1,000 times a day. You know, we're trying to get our goal for the day and quit trading. So if you're looking to trade 1,000 times a day, then obviously that's something that you can do. But right now, I messed this one up. But I'm short there. My stop's at break even. I think it's going to come and get me a break even. I don't have my target on this anymore because I screwed the trade up. But we'll see where it goes. And it's a break even, so I figured I was going to get on that. I missed this over here on the ES, this short right here. The ribbon spread out over here on the YM. We wanted to put in a lower swing before it pulls back. Oops, that's the wrong kind of arrow. This kind of arrow. Right here, and that was a break even. But you gotta say, this is so much easier, isn't it? It is pretty flat here, but over here was the spot that I got short on, and I screwed the trade up and somehow deleted all my orders, so I didn't have a stop and I didn't have a target. But here it's coming up again right now, so get ready on the NQ for the down close right in here. There. That's probably what you mean, right? It's a little easier to see now. So right now the ribbon is still spread. The ES is still spread too, so watch for the down close here on the NQ. Okay, and then the down close there on the ES. Okay. Over here on the ES, the high of this bar is 2450, so you'd be looking at 2250. 2250. We didn't get the down close there. Now the NQ just changed color. I can put the order here on the ES, but the NQ just changed color on us. So on a down close, it's got to change the color back for it to be an actual trade in there. And it's not doing that, I don't think. Okay, and the S is just about to change color. The number is still at the same place, 2550 down. It's actually going to be 2350 now on the S. 2550 down to 2350 on the S. And that actually did change color there on the NQ. Excuse me. Alright, over here on the YM, the ribbon is spread. The Russell, the ribbon is spread. The YM is in the overbought. So the YM could trigger. The ES is still right here at 2350. The NQ is back to not spread. I'm in it though. I'm throwing my stop at break even on this NQ. I got in it on the down close of that bar there. I guess is that where I got it. I don't know. My stop's at break even on it. I'm looking for the S to give us a down close right here, and the YM to give us a down close. The Russell can give us a down close now too. Another break even there on the NQ. And the S is not a trade. I'm going to cancel that one. And the YM's got a chance here. It's got a high here of 74. So from 74, you'd be selling 54 on that one. Okay, and the Russell's got a chance too. It's got a high of 16.3. So it'd be 14.3 is what you'd be selling on that one. Alright. So the Russell and the YM have a chance. Now these other two, I didn't end up taking the ES trade, and I got a break even over here on the NQ. We just triggered in over here on the YM. Now I gotta make sure my stop is in the right place. 3, it should be right here. And the Russell we didn't trigger into. The YM is a good trade though. We triggered into that one the right way. The NQ arrow, I gotta put that on. This is so much better than yesterday, isn't it? Okay, 53 down to 43, and the stop goes to break even here on the YM. Now, it hasn't gotten down to 43 yet, has it? No, only down to 48. The Russell, oh, the Russell's a trade right here, so let me just put that on and get rid of that. And we should be oh, what the heck, man? We should have triggered in on the Russell. Okay, there, now we did. For better or worse, we did. The ES, not a trade. The YM needs to give us 10 ticks in profit. Now the Russell needs to give us 10 ticks in profit. Move the stop to break even. Okay, not a trade, not a follow-up trade. Yeah, you gotta. It's if you have your stop at, and if you have your target at 60 on that jack, you're gonna want to lock in. You know, pay attention and trail your stop. You know, if you trade just one market, like if you're just trading the NQ, and you had your DOM right here, and you're just trading the NQ and only trading that, then that's something that's not that hard to do. But if you're trying to do a whole bunch of things like me, then I like to have the target on the NQ because a lot of times I don't have to manage it. It'll go right to the target and take it out. Yeah, I think these two here are probably going to stop out. That would kind of suck overall, but the NQ we're at 217 ticks right now. On the Russell we're at minus 19. On the YM we're at plus 2. On the ES we're at plus 1. So almost all the money is on the NQ right now. I did end up having a lot of trades today compared to yesterday, where all we had was trouble with TradingView. Now that problem that we had with TradingView yesterday morning is unusual. You guys know that that doesn't usually happen. We don't usually have those kinds of problems with TradingView. Okay, I don't need to see these charts. All I need to do is watch the DOM and get the stop to break even. I'm afraid if I looked at the charts, I wouldn't like the way they look at all. But I guess we ought to. And the NQ is about to give us a long trade. Okay, so here's our YM. Okay, now the YM is still looking okay. The Russell's still looking okay. We can still get everything going on there. The NQ is about to really give us a long trade. Now this long trade here on the NQ is a pullback and a bigger down move, I think. So I wouldn't expect too much out of the long trade if we do get it on the NQ. And the YM and the Russell could end up working out right here. They could end up working out right here. Okay, so the NQ closed down, not up, so it's not a trade over there yet. It's about to be though, I think. An up close on this is probably going to pull it out of the oversold and give us a trade. And these two could still work out. Right, and there it is on the NQ. Now that is an ugly looking trade right there on the NQ right now. Here it is. It's got to go 16 ticks into profit. I'm at 217 right now, but I have a 36 tick stop on this, so we'll see how it works out. It's going to go 16 ticks into profit for me to bump the stop to break even here on the NQ. And these both have to go 10 ticks into profit for me to bump the stop to break even, and they're going in opposite directions. So my stop is down here at 36 ticks. It looks like it's probably going to hit it. Worst case scenario is they all stop out. I'm just looking to get my risk off the trades. We need 4 points in profit. It needs to get up to 96.25 roughly. 96 would work too on the NQ. Uh-oh, it's going to stop me out. It didn't yet. I really thought it was going to stop me out on that move down. There, now it did. Alright, so we go to minus 36 on the NQ. That's our first stop out on the NQ this morning. Okay, worst case scenario is we stop out on all of them. That would really stink. But it's 11:07. We have time to make it all back, so it's not a big deal. Let's do this. But that's the wrong arrow. Can't see the right arrow. It's this one right here that I stopped out on the TIQ. Now I'll make that the right color here in a second. It does look like I'm going to stop out on the YM now. And this should be a red one. Red. And we did stop out on the YM. That stinks. And it looks like we're probably going to stop out on the Russell too. I'll leave it here. We can watch it. Again, this is why you quit trading when you get the goal for the day. Or when you get 3 or 4 or 5 times the goal for the day. And so I put the NQ in there, the YM, we're now at minus 23 on the YM. Yes, I really like trading view too. Days like yesterday, they're far and few in between. Where days like that with NinjaTrader and with DT Pro, they used to happen a lot more frequently. The charts, I mean. The DOM on DT Pro is usually really good. That's why I keep it. But we stopped out to the tick there, we stopped out to the tick there, and now the Russell is the only thing we've got left going right here, right now. To go long again here on the NQ, we need to put in a higher swing. To go short again here on the YM, we need to put in a lower swing. And the Russell is still working. So both of those so far stopped out to the tick. Pretty much. No, Gordon. All you need is the ribbon to be spread, commodity overbought or oversold, with the trigger down here. Alright, the ribbon is going to give you the trend, and the trigger down here is going to give you the actual trigger to enter. So this one stopped us out to the tick and has now gone up into profit. This one stopped us out to the tick and is now going down into profit. And the Russell's still working itself out here. So hopefully the Russell's going to go all the way down to the weekly trading zone right here. And with that, we'll be able to recover what we stopped out here on the YM. And the NQ, we're just going to have to get another good trade. On the NQ, we went from 217 down to 181. I think I did the math right on that. Now this needs to have 10 ticks in profit to bump that stop. So Gordon, you're able to see everything, right? You understand it. I mean, this is like a one-day training lesson now, as opposed to before where it used to be 3 months. This is 1 day now. You come in here and you see the ribbon is spread, you come out of the oversold. Spread in blue, come out of the oversold, you take a trade. Spread in red, you come out of the overbought, you take a trade. Now the rest of the value is the weekly trading zones, the Logic 247, the concierge trade alerts, and then the actual training about knowing what to expect out of a trade and managing a trade. Okay, the question for those of you guys who don't know was, am I using the arrows for setups on the TV trades chart still? And it doesn't have to bounce off the ribbon. You see how this is bouncing off the ribbon right here? Now, if we're using the arrows, that would probably have been a trade right there if we're using the arrows, but I have all the arrows shut off. You kidding? My mic has been off? How long has my mic been off for? I'm sorry about that. I've been talking this whole time. I was saying it should get down here, all the way down to here. And I was saying it's hard for me to not take a whole bunch of profit on this right now. But I think when it gets down here, I was saying, Steven I think asked about that the other day. I think it's going to bounce when it gets right here. And if I put a target right there, that would put me at +1 tick. But I have a feeling it's going to go right through it. You know, right here would be putting me at +1 tick on the day. On the Russell. So I'm going to lock in 10. I'd be a fool to not lock in 10. And if it takes me out right there, I'm at +1 tick, because I'm at -19 right now on the Russell. I do think it's going to go down to the weekly trading zone, though. That's what I think. I've been saying all this stuff. I didn't realize my mic was off. I must have bumped it. But now that I got 10 locked in, I'm just going to take that off and let it go, because it should get down here to the weekly trading zone right now. Okay. And there it is. So now I can lock in 20. Lock in. That's 21. It just took me out with 21. And it is going down to the weekly trading zone right now. But 21, that puts me positive on the day on the Russell. And so now I am positive on the ES, I'm positive on the Russell, I'm -23 on the YM, and I'm +181 on the NQ. And I am so sorry that my mic was off that whole time. I really was talking that whole time. It was good stuff too. Okay. I think it was good stuff. Of course, it's just me talking. That is a blue one. I'm glad we managed to get one blue one out of those 3 trades.
I'm sure it was good.
Alright, so watch the the NQ over here, guys. The ribbon is spread. If you spread it out, you'll see the ribbon is spread over there. And the Russell's trying to go down. I think the ES is going to go down. I think the YM eventually is going to go down. So, well, there it is. Alright, so 4 points in profit, and the stop goes to break even. There it is, stop to break even. And there it is, another 48 ticks. Ding ding. How hard was that? And look, all these other ones went down. All those ones that I stopped out on went down. The Russell did go down and do exactly what I thought it was going to do, down to the weekly trading zone. The ES, I didn't have an ES trade on. You got 64 at 16 points. Good, Jack. Yeah, that was an easy one to get 64 on. I was thinking 15 points, but you know, the 9x12 was, at the time that day, the 9x12 seemed like it was a volatility.
I think there's a song about that.
9x12.
When I'm 64.
Oh, okay.
Beatles.
64. Oh yeah. Hey, Paul McCartney got up on stage and sang a song the other night with Red Hot Chili Peppers at a bar in the Hamptons.
Really?
Yep.
That was quite a treat for those in attendance.
Yeah, it was. It was.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers got their start, I believe, here in Tempe, Arizona.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. I remember they used to play free concerts in the park when I was like 21, 22.
Back in your almost military days.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember listening to them way back when. That's when I was filling up my boat at the marina yesterday, and there's this guy at the marina, Wally. This is another trade here on the NQ, who was in the Air Force for 32 years. And he and I usually have some pretty good conversations, but there was the guy that was filling up my boat for me. He's married to this, well, he's not married, he's engaged to Taylor. who's this really pretty blonde girl that works at the marina, and I've known her since, for years, since she was a little girl, and now she's engaged. And I didn't realize she was the owner's son, and the owner's daughter. And and when I was talking to Tanner, it's Tanner and Taylor. When I was talking to Tanner yesterday while I was filling up my boat, Doc, the guy who owns the marina, he's a retired dentist. And Tanner, who was an ICU nurse before he started working.
Does he spell that D-O-C-K?
Well, yeah. That's, I know, it's kind of funny. Doc's. But yes, Doc's Marina. But it's D-O-C is how he spells it. But Tanner said, Doc talked him into applying for medical school. He was an ICU nurse, and Doc talked him into applying for dental school, and he got accepted. So now he's going to try to become a dentist. I imagine he will become a dentist. If he was a nurse, he's smart enough to do all that other stuff.
This week on America's Got Talent, there was a dentist, but she's like an aerial acrobat in her spare time. It was really quite amazing. And where do you go to even practice something like that? I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, who helps you do that? Because that's not something you can do all by yourself.
Yeah, in fact, they made a comment that I think somebody asked her, "How did you learn to do that?" And she said, "I taught myself."
Wow.
But she was in dance class as a kid growing up, doing ballet and that kind of stuff, so that helped.
Yes, I can imagine it would.
But she was so high up in the air. I mean, wow. And no net. But she was in a pretty sturdy harness.
Yeah, I can imagine that I want people to get hurt on live TV. But then again, is that really live? 59.65.
I think depending upon what time zone you watch it in, it is live.
Is it really? The ES is going to trade.
I think so.
Sorry. The ES is going to trade here. I didn't do any of these over here. I guess I did that one. I don't know if I wrote it down. That was the one. That was one Russell trade we did. Okay, the ES is going to trade right here. I did a few of these trades here on the NQ. I was just doing that. I brought it over and showed you when I did it. I am short the ES right now too. Here's the ES trade. That should go right down into the weekly trading zone. I had enough room from the entry to the zone to get the stop to break even. That is why I took that trade. My stop is 10 ticks away on the ES, and right now on the ES we are sitting at plus 1 tick. So if we stopped out on this, we'd get -9 on the ES. We're killing it on the NQ though. This was another trade here on the NQ, but that last one needed to put in a lower swing and it didn't. This needs to go to plus 4 ticks right here. Plus 4. That should put it right at the weekly trading zone. One more. One more. There it is. Stop to break even. Here out. Rather than put that at break even, I'm going to drag this one down to break even. Okay, we should go through this number right here at 615. And it got me. It was right at the weekly trading zone was the break even point. Oops, that's a yellow one. It's a yellow one. Okay. So overall we're having a pretty good day. One could say. The NQ is killing it for us right now. Alright, so we did put in a little bit lower swing here. We're pulling back up. We're in the overbought again right here. The ribbon is still spread out. Now, looking across here, the ribbon is spread out on the YM. We have a lower swing. The ribbon is spread out on the Russell. We have a lower swing. And the ribbon is spread out here on the ES. That right there is another trade on the ES. I'm trying to short. I just did. Here it is. We need 4 ticks in profit on that. It should go down and test the weekly trading zone again, I think. Now my stop is 10 ticks away on the ES, like it always should be, on a 7 range. What time is it? 11:24. Okay, this will probably be my last trade right here on the ES. One more tick, stop to break even on that. Now I'm going to lock in a little bit because it'll probably bounce here off the weekly trading zone. Okay, lock in 4. It should go all the way down here to 613. take the 4 ticks there, but I'll highlight the 613 for you because this is where it should go in the next minute or two. Right there. That is a blue arrow. There it is, down to 613. Just about. Alright, that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here for the day. This was a great end to the week, a great end to the month, and a great end to the 2420 blueprint. So, right now on the NQ, we are at 265 ticks. On the Russell, this is the Russell, I think, right? Yeah. On the Russell, we are at +2 now. On the YM, we are at -23. And on the ES, we are now at 9. So we're ending the morning session with $1,332.50 with one contract. Right, with one contract, with 20 contracts. This has been a great end to the week and a great end to the 2420 blueprint. The total number of trades, though, I had a lot of trades today. 5, 10, 15, 20, 6. That is a lot of trades. With these large time frames, it's been a really volatile day. So this is by far our best month of the year. We're at $11,847 per contract on the month. We're going to end the month of August at $11,847 per contract. Over 22 business days, averaging $538 per contract per 2-hour business day. These numbers right here, for those of you guys who are in here on the open house or on the trial, I've gone 163 business days this year hitting my goal, so every single business day this year I got the goal. I've gone 78 business days since the last time I didn't have a green day. That means I gave the money back after I got the goal, and I ended negative. I've gone 325 consecutive business days without a down day. A down day meaning I didn't get the goal for the day and I ended negative. That's a red day. A red day means I did not get $100 per contract and I ended negative. I think it was in May of last year. So down here, the 2420 blueprint, this, I should take a picture of this. Well, I'm actually gonna, yeah, we're going to another month, so this is it. We will have this will be frozen in time. At the end of the 2420 blueprint, with starting this year, actually the end of the 2420 blueprint with 20 contracts, this year we ended up with $382,232, and if you add that to last year's total, hang on, here's last year's total. Let me hit copy on that.
Well, that certainly deserves this.
Thank you. Thank you. So.
Sorry I don't have a golden buzzer where all this confetti falls from the ceiling. But
that's okay. I'll take the little ding. That's enough. Paste. Look how lazy I am. Do those two and sum them. Something doesn't look right. Something's definitely not right. Okay, well, we won't do that then. But the way it came out, it's about $500,000, something like that. More than $500,000, like $600,000, doing the 2420 blueprint. Starting with one contract, quitting when you get the goal for the day, working your way up. I will get that number for you before too long. But we have completed the 2420 blueprint now. And you can see, if you start with one contract, this is this year, starting with one contract, working 50.81 hours, $102,000. You know, that 50, I've worked weeks where I worked a lot more time than that. Single weeks where I worked more than that. And I never made $102,000 a week. Well, back then. So we're averaging right now, the 2420 blueprint on the year, we're averaging $2,017. If you started with one contract, that's $2,017 per hour. And again, this thing that I figured out here by starting early, now this is, we figured this out in June. Right here, you can see right here where the difference was made, where I started doing that. And every day last month, except for 2, we got the goal for the day in under 15 minutes. So the hourly rate is going up, dramatically right now, because if you were to actually quit when you get your goal for the day, you're not working more than a half an hour most days. And isn't that where you want to be? If you could average $2,000 an hour and only work a half an hour a day. Unless everyone can now. But when I had all four markets up, and I had it on a 7 range and all that stuff, it was harder for people to follow me. But now that we've simplified it, and now that you're seeing just this, you're able to take just these trades, you should be doing better than I am. And now the value of becoming a passport: 1, you get to come in here; 2, you get to learn how to manage a trade, because managing the trade is where the real money is made. And now that we're on a larger time frame, managing the trade is even more important, because there's a lot more in each trade. The targets are bigger, the stops are bigger, so managing is even more important now. I worked a lot. I took a lot of trades today. I mean, do you call this a lot of work? Probably not, but I took a lot of trades today. But the question was, how many people can follow this with you? And everybody that's been following me this week, I think that's been following me for the past 5 or 10 or 12 years, whatever. Look, the European markets closed. I mean, yeah, the European markets closed. They were holding us up on the downside. But anybody that's been following me for the past years, you have to say
no,
that
I think the answer to your question is, the more people who enter at the same price at the same time, the more likely price is to run to the target. It's not one of those things you hear in a lot of rooms about, oh, we can only let so many people know this secret, because otherwise, if everybody knew, then it wouldn't work. That's just hogwash.
It is, and not only that, but these are range bars. So you can change the range bar to be whatever you want, and you'll be entering at a different point than everybody else. Right? It's not like everybody's working off a 5-minute bar where it's 5 minutes for everybody. With a range bar, you have that variable that you get to control. And Jack, we just had that big move down because the European market's closed.
It just happened, yeah. I'm looking to see in the news feed if there's anything.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything.
Okay, so everybody...
Hasn't popped up yet.
No, probably not yet. Everybody that's been in here all week for the open house, you got an email yesterday telling you what it takes to become part of this. You'll probably get another one today telling you what it takes to become part of this. But this is it. This is as simple as it's going to get. Alright? And that is it. So let me show you how to get into the next session. Alright? We had a great day today. We had a great end of the week, great end of the month, great end of the 24/20 blueprint, all that stuff. All that stuff. I think I was adding those numbers in. Yeah, I was adding the numbers in the right place. Everything turned out really well today. I'm happy going into the weekend like it is right now. And it's a long weekend. So anybody that joins right now, you get your stuff done today, and we'll get you ready, and you'll have it over the weekend to mess around with and look at. I'm not sure if the market's going to open up on Sunday night or not. It's possible they will open up on Sunday night. But
weekly trading zones won't come out till Tuesday morning.
Weekly trading zones won't be out until Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. And for everybody who's in here who doesn't know, the weekly trading zones don't get emailed out anymore. You have to get them through Telegram. They're in this channel that I've been going back to in Telegram. Alright, they're in here, and the access to the room will be in here, and the password for next week will be in here. Okay, all that stuff's going to be in there. Coming out but Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. Alright, if anybody has any questions, anybody that's in here right now has any questions for me, you can text me at 617-943-3298. You can text Michael at that number. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of, we went over that earlier this week, Jack. That's it, guys. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. You see how we have a trade setting up right here on the YM right now? This is blue. This is not blue, so we could have a trade here. If we get an up close on this bar and it pulls it up into the overbought, we'll have a trade on the Russell. This is blue, so we're not going to have anything there. But these gaps had to get filled, and they just did get filled. So I'll leave this up and running here for a few minutes. Dwayne's in control of it after this, so he's going to shut the meeting off when he has to get ready for the next meeting. Speaking of which, next meeting begins at the top of the hour. And to get into that, you go here to mytradingiq.com and scroll down to right here where it says noon session. Logic 247 concierge trade alerts. Recap. Click on this, alright, to get into that. Dwayne's going to come on and do the Logic 247 concierge trade alerts. And I will come on at 12:15 do a recap of what we did in here in the morning, and I'll do another half an hour of live streaming for the YouTube audience. Okay, but I'll do that in this meeting when you click here and join it there. Alright. And that is going to be it, guys. If I don't talk to you in the next meeting, and I don't have any meetings set up with you, I hope you have a great long weekend. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Okay? Stay safe. Make good decisions. We'll see you all. Thanks for coming.